The human eye is one of the most remarkable organs in the body, allowing us to see the world around us. The eyeball is like a photographic camera. It has a lens, a variable aperture, and a layer of tissue called a retina that is sensitive to light, just like a photographic film. When light from a source like the sun or a lamp hits an object, the surface of the object can either absorb, transmit, or reflect the light. If the light is reflected, it can travel towards our eyes, where it passes through the transparent cornea and lens, which work together to bend and focus the light onto the retina. The cornea is a transparent layer mostly made of collagen fibers, and it is continuous with the sclera, the white outer layer of the eye made of dense connective tissue. The sclera covers the entire eyeball except where the cornea is present, providing shape and protection. It also serves as a site of attachment for the skeletal eye muscles, which are used to adjust the direction of sight. Together, the cornea and the sclera form the outermost layer of the eye. The middle layer of the eye consists of the choroid, ciliary body, and iris. The iris is a pigmented fibrous sheet with a central aperture or opening called the pupil. The muscles in the iris adjust the size of the pupil depending on the light levels. In dark conditions, the iris increases the pupil size, thus allowing more light to enter the eye, enabling better detection of objects in the dark. In bright conditions, the iris reduces the pupil size to decrease the amount of light entering the eye. This prevents excessive light from reaching the retina and causing glare or discomfort. Although the pupil is an opening, when you look into someone's eyes, the pupil appears black because the light that enters the eye is not reflected back. This is because the choroid layer at the back of the eye is rich in melanin, a pigment that absorbs light and prevents it from scattering inside the eye. This helps the image cast on the retina to remain clear and sharp. The choroid also contains numerous blood vessels that provide nutrients and oxygen to the outer portion of the retina. In the front of the eye, the choroid connects with the ciliary body, which is a ring-shaped structure located behind the iris. The ciliary body serves two main functions. The first function is to secrete aqueous humor. Aqueous humor is a transparent water-like fluid that flows into the anterior chamber of the eye, which is the space between the cornea and the iris, to provide nutrients and oxygen to the cornea. The aqueous humor is also responsible for maintaining the intraocular pressure. This is a positive pressure exerted by the fluid on the walls of the anterior chamber to keep the cornea inflated. The second function of the ciliary body is to change the shape of the lens. The lens is a transparent disc mostly made of thin fiber cells. It is suspended in the eye by connective tissue fibers called zonular fibers, which are attached to the ciliary body. So when the muscles in the ciliary body contract, it reduces the tension exerted on the zonular fibers, thereby changing the shape of the lens that are elastic in nature. This elasticity is essential for a process called eye accommodation. Accommodation is a process by which the eye adjusts its focus to see objects clearly at different distances. For example, if you're looking out of a window at a distant view, the ciliary muscles will remain relaxed, causing the zonular fibers to tighten. This stretches the lens and makes it flatter. This flatter lens can focus the light rays from faraway objects onto the retina. Now, if you shift your focus to the window frame or any object closer to you, your brain signals the ciliary muscles to contract. This contraction releases tension on the zonular fibers, causing the lens to bulge and become more rounded. This change in shape increases the lens's ability to bend the incoming light rays more sharply to focus them onto the retina. The retina is the third and innermost layer of the eyeball, containing multiple layers of neurons that transmit information about the visual image to the brain through the optic nerve. The human retina contains two specialized regions called the optic disc and the macula. The optic disc is the region where the optic nerve exits the eye in order to connect with the brain. Bundled together with the optic nerve are the central retinal artery and the central retinal vein, which provide blood supply to the inner layers of the retina. The macula is a region on the center of the retina crucial for central vision. Central vision is what allows us to do activities that require focused and detailed sight, like reading. The rest of the retina allows us to see objects outside the center of our gaze. This is called peripheral vision. Unlike central vision, peripheral vision is not sharp and detailed, but it allows us to detect changes in the environment even when we are not directly looking at them. The retina extends up to the front of the eye and terminates at the ora serrata, which is the junction between the retina and the ciliary body. The space between the retina and lens is called the vitreous chamber. It is filled with a clear, gel-like substance called the vitreous humor, which helps maintain the shape of the eye and prevents the retina from collapsing in. When light rays pass through the biconvex lens of the eye, they are inverted and focused onto the retina. The retina then transforms these light signals into electrical signals which are transmitted to the brain. These signals carry information about the size, shape, and color of objects within our visual field. The brain processes the information from both eyes, reconstructing a complete and correctly oriented image, enabling us to perceive the world accurately. In my next video, I'll discuss how the retina captures light signals and how this information is processed and conveyed to the brain. So stay tuned.